With real estate though, the reality here is that the best source for leads is the one that you do more consistently. So I decided that since I love social media and I enjoyed it, why not give it a go for a full year? See what happens.
Welcome back to another episode of Simplifying Social Media. I'm your host, Tamany, owner of The Simple Touches, and today we're joined by Andres Bustamante from Austin, Texas. Welcome to the pod.
Thank you so much, Tamany. I appreciate you for having me.
I'm super excited to chat with you before we dive into social media because you are a master at storytelling, which has gotten you tons of social media clients. Tell us a little bit about your team size and production for context.
Definitely. So my business partners, Victor and Diego Corzo, we're about 12 agents. And with this, we've done about this past year, we helped about 256 families with 12 agents,
Wow.
which amounted to about like 98 million in volume. And we have office managers as well, about 4 office managers that help us with everything. They're amazing.
That's fantastic. And how long have you been in real estate?
I've been in real estate since I was 19. So I've been in real estate, that's 9 years. Started in college to pay for tuition, to pay for everything. And then when I graduated, joined the team and then became a business partner. So full-time 4 years, but in total, 9 years.
Love it. And have you been on social media that entire time?
I was, but very sporadic. You know, it's a lot of like the imposter syndrome that comes in and you're like, oh my gosh, what are people going to think? This, and that. But then this year, I committed fully to 1 post per day since January 17th. And that's when I really saw the results through consistency.
So when you say you committed to 1 post per day, talk me through that. How did you logistically make that happen?
Well, it was really, the open house is a cold calling. It's not like if I'm not going to do it, but I didn't really like it. You know, I didn't get excited for it. Sometimes in life, you're not going to be excited about doing things, but you got to do them regardless. With real estate though, the reality here is that the best source for leads is the one that you do more consistently. So I decided that since I love social media and I enjoyed it, why not give it a go for a full year? See what happens. Because I did see results through social media, but it was like sporadic because I wasn't posting as much into it. And I started doing it, and no joke, I get 3 to 5 leads per week. If anything, like I might even get 8. And this past week, while I was doing a marathon, hiking up this mountain 30 miles, no joke, from social media, I 3 under contract that my agent helped me. But they're all through social media. And this is while I was doing a marathon, which was insane. It's crazy.
I love how social media does that. Like, the more work you put in, it just kind of like builds on itself. And over time, like the work you did 3, 4, 5 weeks ago just kind of starts flourishing as you're doing other stuff.
Oh, 100%. I mean, and on this, it's like, look, open houses can be great for some people. The reality is an open house might last 4 hours. Social media lasts a lifetime. So if you build the system, it can become passive. And it's just incredible. Anyone that's not on it is leaving a lot of money on the table.
100%. So you mentioned imposter syndrome. So what advice would you give listeners who are feeling that right now and just having a hard time getting over it?
The biggest thing, the reality is everyone has it. The people that are at the top, like Ryan Serhant, anyone has had it. If you read Ryan Serhant's book, he had imposter syndrome. Ryan Serhant, for some people that don't know, he's a billionaire real estate agent. Is crushing it. Very inspirational, but anyone's had it. So realize that first. And then secondly, with social media, there'll probably be haters anywhere with anything, you know? And on this, the biggest thing, it does not have to be perfect. It just has to be posted. My first ever post, I show people, it is horrible. It was actually hilarious, but I posted it. It was I'll send it to you later, but it was so bad. But I posted it. I was like, you know what, whatever. You saw it? Yeah. So it was like, oh my gosh, that was not good. And then on this other end, because you're never going to like how your voice sounds, nothing's going to ever be perfect, but slowly but surely you start putting in the reps and start getting more confident and more confident. Then on this end, a mindset shift that also helped me is that there are people that need our help. That's the reality, like 100%. And if we're not posting, that means that those people are going to be helped by a mediocre agent. So we are
Mm.
doing people a disservice if we're not posting. And that's the way I saw it when I was getting nervous and everything. I was like, dang it, there's someone that needs my help and someone that I can help create generational wealth for. And if I don't post, imagine if that opportunity is gone for them. That feels horrible. So it was a mindset shift along with knowing that no post will be perfect. And that kind of gave me my, okay, let's do it one step at a time.
How did you figure out who you were posting for?
I love that question. With that, it was firstly, when I graduated college, I wanted to know who I was talking to. That's like my avatar. And through the avatar, it's really like, real estate doesn't have to be boring. I know a lot of people that don't like going to real estate conferences. I don't like going to them sometimes because it's always like, hey, real estate, how's your production? This, and that. For me,
No.
it's like I like my passions. Like I love soccer and I wear jerseys all the time. So I like to attract that type of person. So when I was graduated, I was like, how can I attract the person that I want to help? And the reality was that I wanted to attract people that just graduated college, that didn't know that they
Mm.
could buy a house, didn't know that they could house hack, and also had a limiting belief of buying a home. And then along with thought that you had to pay 20% down to buy a home. So when I thought about that, I was like, okay, it's probably people between their 20s and 30s, not a lot of education on the housing side. So how can I offer them solutions to the problems that they didn't know that they had? That's when I started kind of reverse engineering. Who do I want to help?
Mm-hmm.
What, like, what are they doing? What type of stuff do they like doing? What do I like doing? And that's how I started posting based on the problems that I knew my target audience had.
So, if you're listening, I want you to listen to how specific Andres got with his avatar. I mean, that is a very specific person you had in mind. And therefore, you had, I would think, pretty easy time coming up with content because you knew exactly the pain points of this person.
Exactly. Like there's so many things.
So many things. And what would you say to a realtor who's like, but I also want to help this person, and I also want to help this person, and I also want to help this person?
With this, when you start off, you're probably going to have a lot of people that you're going to have to be helping. And when I say a lot of people, is more so if you get anyone, you should be helping them. And starting off, I'd say leasing is probably the best thing you can do to get your foot started right off the bat. That's what I did for 4 years when I was barely starting. But with this, knowing your target audience, you're just very clear on the videos you're going to be posting, and you're going to get people from all over. But just knowing that target audience, it just helps you to kind of determine the post. And now from that, the mindset should be, I'm going to help anyone possible. And then maybe when you get a lot of clients, like right now, thankfully, I'm getting a ton of clients that I can say to some people, hey, you know what, right now, my time is based on this, and that, but I can send you with the next best person. And I refer it out, So, yeah, with that, at first you do have to grind. You have to go hard, work as much as possible. But then later on, you build the systems to where you can decide who you want to work with, which that was always a goal, But it took a while, like so much hard work, a ton of weekends, long nights.
Absolutely. But I like that. Like, you're creating content for this one specific type of person. You get leads potentially that's not your ideal client. You can you get the decision, you have the choice of taking them or referring them out because you're the business owner. You get that liberty.
For sure.
And that's the beauty of being your own boss, right? But the idea of just deciding, okay, like this is my avatar, this is who I'm creating content for, that's your starting point. And I think a lot of my clients specifically just have a really hard time picking. They can't pick one avatar because they have like all these, but I can help anybody is their mindset. Do you have any advice for someone just like how do they narrow down that avatar?
Oh yeah, I have the best advice that helped me a ton. So with this, I love Arsenal, like this team right here, Arsenal. Any sports related things I love. So the biggest thing is, where will I meet people that share my passion? And now I do a lot of sport event stuff. Like if Arsenal's playing and they play every weekend, I'm going to go to the tavern. That's the bar that we go watch the game at. And my biggest passion is talking soccer. So I can talk soccer like we could talk for 2 hours if you love soccer, and I swear you would be like my best friend by the end of the conversation because I'm so passionate about it that I can talk for days. So the biggest thing, if you don't know who your avatar is, what are your top three passions? Find places where you're going to meet those people, and once you'll see you get there and right away you can talk because it's a passion. I mean, how cool would that be? I don't go to real estate networking events because it's always the same thing. What's your production? What's the market like? I always talk about that. So why do I want to keep talking about that? I'll go to Toastmasters, which is a public speaking group. I love public speaking now. I used to hate it though. I'll go to Arsenal games, and then I'll go do workout stuff. And because I'm so passionate about it, it's so easy to talk about it. And if you're trying to get like a what's my target audience, go to those three passions, and right away when you're there, you'll be like, now I know what it is. It's this, this, and that, and this type of person.
I love that. The word passion, you said that several times. And for me, like in my language, I would say like alignment. I used to be a 8th grade teacher and I enjoyed it, but it didn't sit right with me in a few like areas. And now with my current job or business, I just feel so much more in alignment, and you just feel it like in your gut. Like you feel like this is where I'm supposed to be. So I love the idea of like you choose where you feel you belong, and that's where you're going to find your ideal client or your ideal avatar.
Mm-hmm. And props to you for being a teacher. I know that that can be, I have friends and they told me it can be a bit difficult.
I mean, I don't regret it at all. I learned a lot about a lot, but yeah, it's, it was not my forever job. And now I'm like, I love what I'm doing now, and I feel passionate about it.
Nice. That's good. And I mean, everything teaches you a lesson, I'm sure you learned a lot from being a teacher. Stepping stones.
Well, and to kind of build off of that is like I always tell my clients, take your past careers and your past hobbies and your past, clubs that you were in or whatever, and use that in your real estate career. So I use my teaching background in my current job, and I host webinars and I teach realtors. So if you were like I'm assuming you played soccer at some point in your life.
Mm-hmm.
So you played soccer, and now you're using that in your real estate career to attract other soccer fans. Like your past life doesn't disappear just because you became a realtor.
Oh no, yeah. Make your passions and align with that to who you want to attract. At the end of the day, make it fun. It doesn't have to be a job you're not happy with. I've, no joke, gotten random calls from people like, Andres, who do you think is going to win the Champions League? This is like the league of Europe. Who do you think is going to win the Champions League? And we start talking for 5 minutes, and then they're like, hey, by the way, I want to buy a house. And we're already like super good friends. Yeah, it's so funny. So I'm like, oh, I'm excited to talk to them as well.
I love that. How fun.
Yeah.
This episode is brought to you by Social Simplicity. Social media marketing doesn't have to be hard, but it does need to be done correctly. Social Simplicity is designed specifically for real estate agents. Every week, we deliver fresh content ideas, ready-to-use video prompts, and strategies that help you engage your audience, build your brand, and close more deals. All you have to do is follow our plan and watch your social media presence grow. Sign up today at thesimpletouches.com/social-simplicity and take the guesswork out of social media.
Okay, so I want to transition over into your just sold reels, because you do one of the best just sold reels I've seen out there.
Thank you.
Can you're welcome. I mean, it's well deserved. So can you kind of break down the thought process behind them with us?
Definitely. The big thing that a lot of agents do, and it happens because a lot of people are doing this, but I say there's a better way to do these things. A lot of people just post it just sold or just listed or just closed. And if you're looking at it from the outside, This is the reality. Nobody cares. If it was just closed, just listed, who cares? The big thing that people want to know is, what was the story behind that closing? The biggest thing with anything, honestly, in life is the relatability factor. The better story you can tell, the more relatable you can tell it, the more people will be bound to be like, oh my gosh, I'm similar to that person, and I didn't know this problem that I had could be solved. Now I want to go with Tamany or Andres because they were the problem solvers. They solved the problem that I didn't know I had. So that's it. You tell a story and make it about your client and share that win. Usually what I do with a just close is more so, I don't show myself because I want to make it about my client. It's my hand, like with the camera. I give them the key, and then a drone shot comes up. If you look at my profile, you'll see it's hard to describe, but shows the house a bit, shows them maybe if they were building it 6 months back. It makes it all about them. I show myself in a bit of it. But with that, then on the captions, I kind of put more so it's like, this is a client that I just closed 2 weeks ago. Meet Sophia and Nuri. Back in the day, they didn't know that they could buy because they didn't know that you could put 5% down, 3% down as a first-time home buyer with a conventional loan, or even do FHA 3.5% down. Actually, you can. And with this, they were also renting. They had a 6-month lease. They didn't know that they could lock a home's price with an earnest money deposit for a build and build the house by the time that their lease ended. And look at this. They also had enough time to save up more money for the down payment to be comfortable with it. So see, I'm starting to tell the story of a lot of people that are also on a lease, 6 months, don't know they can lock, and oh my gosh, our price is going to go up. The media, this, and that. Hey, you know what? We locked the price. They didn't have to worry about the prices going up. When you start telling the story like that, a lot of people are like, damn, I have that same problem. Now there's that solution. Let me go with that problem solver. It's the art of storytelling. So key whenever you close with clients, or maybe when you just list, But there's so many small things that add up that get you a ton more clients that you can then help.
Have you had any clients that are like camera shy or like don't want you to share their story?
For sure. That's definitely a great point. That's when you want to ask. And the way a lot of people, whenever I kind of give this class of social media and whatnot, the question comes up is like, what if my clients don't want to be in it? And the way I shape it is more so, hey, I want to share your win because I know this is a huge milestone for you. Are you open to that? Most people will say yes. I've only had one client that didn't want to, and I was like, hey, that's totally understandable. I could totally understand that, and I appreciate it. Thank you for letting me know. So we don't do it, But it's more so you shape it to where it's like, I want to share your win because it is a huge win, Huge win, buying a property. That's amazing. So people should be happy about it and share it. And look, at the end of the day, I tell my clients, look, you're an inspiration to other people. How cool would it be if the fact that you do a video shows you buying a home can inspire 4 others? So it's a reality. I mean, look, they're inspiring people as well. So for me, I'm not going to be shy about it because I know it can inspire other people, and I'm going to be like, we need to share this win.
So the recent ones, are you bringing in a professional videographer for those? Or are you doing it all yourself?
Yes. No, I definitely don't do it on my own. The ones with the key that you've seen, that's with my videographer. He's amazing. Shout out to Cade. He's been awesome. And with that, before the closing videos, let's see. Before closing, the first closing videos, I would do it with a videographer, but I've had a lot of people do it on their phone that I've told to do with whatever they can. The reality is, look, you just need your hand and a phone to do the videos. I don't use a gimbal. I used to not use a mic. Now I do use a mic. But when I was starting off, it was only my phone. That's pretty much it. And what I would say with closing videos, if you film at the title company, make it just 5 seconds. I used to do too much at the title company. Try to show the house. You want people to envision themselves there. Give the key to the clients. They want to look happy and whatnot. Try to bring a dog in. If they have a dog, tell them to bring their dog. That always helps.
I just watched one that I think it was a pinned one that you have. And what I thought was super cool that I have not seen other agents doing is you actually came back at a different time and you showed them with like their friends in the house, like actually living in the house. That was like really powerful. How did that logistically happen?
So funny enough, it wasn't really even on purpose because we had closed. I know, right? See how things work out. We had closed and I was out of town. And I was like, hey, I want to celebrate you guys. And when are you all free? And they said, hey, we're free in 2 weeks. Family and friends are going to be there. I was like, that's perfect. Don't worry about it. So I was talking to them and my videographer came up and took some B-roll, which was perfect for that moment.
I love that. So cool. Because I feel like maybe some agents might be stuck in the mindset of like they can only film on closing day and they have to post that day. But I love that your videos kind of show the process, and that might make it a little bit easier for the storytelling aspect that you referencing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, anything you can get from the process, the progress, people will love, because it's the different stages of your life. I mean, building a home, you're like, clients will be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it's gone by so fast. Thank you for having this for us because we really appreciate it. They'll appreciate it a lot, So it's cool to get it when they were building that video you're talking about. That was actually Sophia and Nuri, who we spoke about right now. Yeah, they're awesome. But no, it was the whole documenting the process. As an agent, documenting your journey. Oh my gosh, that's so important, which is something I wish I would have done even earlier,
What resources might you suggest to someone to get better at storytelling?
Toastmasters. The best thing I could. And I'll pay for 3 people if they join from this podcast. I'll pay for their first year. Like, I am such a big advocate for Toastmasters, and it's changed my life. Toastmasters is a public speaking group, which is anywhere in the world. It's even in London whenever I go. It's in Barcelona, anywhere. And they teach you the art of storytelling, the art of giving feedback, the art of being organized. It's probably the best thing I've done for real estate, funny enough. It's taught me so much. So Toastmasters, definitely join it. And if you want to put it on your thread, like if 3 people reach out from the podcast, I'll pay for their first year.
I love it. Message Andres on Instagram, mention the Simple Touches podcast, and you'll get to join Toastmasters for free. How cool is that?
Yeah.
Thank you, Andres.
For sure. For sure.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about Instagram. Are you on any other platforms?
I've used TikTok, but I stopped using it. I feel like I myself was getting distracted with like just doom scrolling. Oh, it's so crazy. But I've gotten more through Instagram, and I've I don't know what it's called, added my Facebook to my Instagram. So anytime I post on Instagram, it gets posted on Facebook. Makes it easy.
Mm-hmm.
Haven't gotten necessarily clients from Facebook, but I know a lot of my parents' friends see it, and I'm sure the time will come when it's like, hey, Andres, I need help with this and that. So it's just being top of mind, planting those seeds. I know it'll come. Not yet, but it'll come. With Instagram, I definitely have been closing way more. TikTok has been a hit or miss for me. I know some people do great on TikTok, so if you're using it, keep using it. Just that for me, it's kind of like more sporadic, I feel like it doesn't show you as much as Instagram does. Instagram is kind of like a resume. TikTok is more so you put a ton of videos and you just scroll through them. You can't really get to know the person as much. That's the way I kind of see it. With Instagram, it's like, oh, who's Andres? The bio, kind of your top 3 pin posts. You could do that on TikTok as well, but Instagram has been different, which I really, really enjoy.
I would agree with that. I feel like Instagram, you have more opportunities to kind of lay your brand out, and you can make it look a little bit more the way you want it to look. Whereas TikTok's a little bit more like, here's all these videos.
Yeah, TikTok can be a bit overwhelming.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so on Instagram, other than posting reels, do you have any tips with stories, with static posts, with engaging that you can share with us?
What I would say you should post are the following. Home tours. Obviously, we're real estate agents. People want to buy homes, so makes sense. And look, if you don't like being on video, you don't have to be yourself on video. But I'd recommend being on video because people want to get to know the person, and just do 10 seconds like, this is what $675,000 gets you in Austin, Texas. 3 beds, 2 baths. Builders offering $10K in lender incentives. Let's go check it out. Just tip things about the house. So home posts, educational. With educational is more what I've learned has helped me a lot because I've tried a lot of things and some worked, some didn't. is like, these are the top three reasons why you should buy with a builder. And then you go to another location and film. Number one, lender incentives. Then you explain lender incentives. Then you go to another location because people like seeing different shots. Then you can go number two, the builder warranty, the 1 to 10 warranty. Then number three, appreciation potential. Top three things, or this is why, blah, blah, blah. That's what gets a lot of people with the educational side. That hyper-local stuff, with hyper-local, I mean like, what's the best barbecue spot in your city? What's the best food place that very few people know about in your city? What's the best water park? I don't know, like things that are local to your area. And the cool thing is with this, like I've gotten to meet a lot of local business owners that I'm sure if anyone asks about real estate, I'll be the first person that comes to mind. And I can take clients or anyone, and the local business owners will be like, Andres, what's up? That sets a great impression with a new client as well. Then number four, what I would say will those closing posts that we already spoke about, the closing videos as well. And then number five, your passions. If I'm looking to buy, let's say in Atlanta or wherever, I'm going to look people up, best Atlanta realtor, blah, blah, blah. And if I see a real estate agent that's great and that loves soccer and has jerseys, I'm immediately going to go with them because that's what I'm passionate about. So I gravitate to that. That's those are the five things that I recommend that's worked for me.
Love it. So you just got your content buckets laid out from someone who's doing it and doing it really well. So rewind, re-listen, take some notes, and fill in the blanks with your passions and your hyper locals.
What I would say as well with clients, which I'm sure you've seen as well, you want to make it as easy as possible for them to reach out. So on this end, beacons or Linktree, look up my profile and copy the exact same thing I use. I don't really care because people have done it and I'm totally fine with that. So with this, on my on my beacons thing, if you click on it, it's like, do you want to buy with me? And it goes to a Google form and it just says like, you just click anything. Yes, no, looking to buy, sell, yes, no, price range, not necessarily price range. It's more so monthly payment range. And there's 5 ranges. And you just click, instead of typing stuff, because for people it can be very frustrating. And I just get the Google form and I give them a call. Simple as that. Or it's a Calendly link. Calendly 15 minutes with Andres. Click on it, syncs with my calendar, and I get a notification and I get on a call. You want to make this as easy as possible for anyone, because if they're having a hard time reaching out to you, it's not going to work. People want to just be like, here, what do I need to do next?
Yep.
So game changer.
Yeah, lay it out for them, because if they have to cold DM you, sometimes they don't know what to say. They don't know that you want to know their monthly payment, or they don't know that you want to know when they want to speak with you. They don't know what information they should be sending, right? So if you lay it out for them, super simple, and the least amount of questions you can give them, the higher the conversion rate is going to be. That's a marketing 101. So you don't want to make your Google form 500 questions, right? But you want to have as many questions as you need to have the appropriate amount of information. But Google Forms is great. It's free if you have a Gmail account, and super simple, user-friendly to set up. Calendly is $15 a month.
If you have more than 2 calls. So if you just have one, like a chat with me, 15 minutes, it's amazing because I just look at my calendar and I'm like, oh, cool, I have a 15-minute chat with Omar. I actually had a client, Omar, he did that, and we went under contract for a house 2 days ago. So it's that simple.
It's like magic. They magically appear on your calendar.
Yeah. It's no joke.
What more could you want?
Right? Just being set right there for you. Take me.
I love it. Okay, let's wrap up with a tip for an agent who's kind of going through it. They've been posting consistently for a few months and nothing's really happening. What would you say to them?
Nothing's happening. Look, this is what I would do. If nothing's going on, I would do leases. I would, and maybe people don't want to hear this, but it's a reality. Leases, go with leases. You'll get a lot of money through that because it's low hanging fruit. Some people don't want to do leases. Do leases, share those people's wins, and add them as a collab on Instagram. There's a big thing with Instagram that a lot of people don't know of is the fact that if you collab and the person accepts it, it shows on their profile. You just need one person to accept the collab and imagine all of their friends will see it. They start following you, you start getting more potential clientele. That's what I would do. And on this end, if it's not working on social media, then you have to double down. It's a reality of life. Like if something's not working, extreme ownership. What can I get better at? Because if it's working for some people, you just need to be more consistent. So I would say this, 1 post per day minimum. 1 post per day, like minimum. And stories, I 100% recommend doing Instagram stories at least 2 per day. Why? Because you're starting to plant the seeds for people. If people start seeing real estate, some passion, real estate, passion, oh, this person likes this and that, people will start, anytime they think about real estate, start thinking about you. So I'd post 2 times a day on his stories and 1 post per day on Instagram. Like I said, there's 5 things you can post about. I post about soccer sometimes, so it doesn't have to be real estate all the time. And then last thing as well, I get this question a lot. Business profile or personal, make it 1. Because people don't just want to see real estate. They want to see you and they want to relate to you as a person. You don't want to be a robot, So combine both of them.
The collaboration feature on Instagram is one of the best features they have incorporated.
It's insane.
Point blank. Like, it's so powerful. I mean, even if you collabed with anyone else who has the same target audience as you, you instantly double your reach. And it's so powerful.
Awesome. Yeah, when I saw that feature, I was like, game changer, because that's a target audience. They'll have people the same, and if they accept it, which most of my clients will accept it, because they're so excited about the video. It's a game changer.
So for example, Andres does this beautiful closing video that he's not really in, like he's in a little bit of it, but it's highlighting his clients' wins. He collaborates with his clients. They accept it. It shows up now on their feed, and all of their friends see what a beautiful job he's done getting them in this house. And they now have access to him as their realtor. So if they are wanting to buy or sell soon, they can get direct access to his profile. It's brilliant.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
It's amazing. All right. Where can everybody find you?
On Instagram, I'd say if you have any questions, it's at Andres Busta TX, Andres Busta TX.
Thank you so much for your time today and all of your insights.
Of course, anytime. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much for tuning in to Simplifying Social Media. Let's stay connected on Instagram at Realtor Social Media Marketing. And if you're interested in working with me, head over to thesimpletouches.com and see all my social media marketing services for real estate agents. And I'll see you guys on the next episode.